Welcome back to our minute-to-minute analysis of Matrix Reloaded. Last time, we saw how one of the most difficult fight scenes in the trilogy was filmed, Smith against Neo in the park. We also saw part of Smith's nihilism and predetermined philosophy. Today we're going to meet the preacher of cause and effect, the Merovingian, one of the most acclaimed characters in the Matrix universe that will return in Matrix 4. Pay attention to the words of the Frenchman as they may relate to the next movie. Welcome to Matrix Explained.
Welcome to the desert of the real.
Before we begin today's video, we would like to announce the giveaway of the Matrix Comics 20th Anniversary Edition. Co-created by the Wachowskis, it's a collection of short stories within the Matrix universe. We will also be giving away an original Matrix poster signed by Matrix Explained and a limited edition Matrix 300-piece puzzle. For your chance to win these prizes, please be subscribed to this channel, leave a like on this video, and leave in the comments what character you would like to see return in Matrix 4 and why. The winner will be announced on May 4th. Neo, Trinity, and Morpheus arrive at the building where the Merovingian's restaurant is located. Notice that there is a massive clock on the wall. The time is noon, the time of day when working people are out for lunch. It's a little hard to see, and it happens quickly, but you can see the trio walking through and in the opposite direction of the crowd. A subtle callback to the Woman in Red simulation in the original Matrix, where Morpheus and Neo are walking against the crowd. This symbolizes the going against the rules or current ideology. Neo, Trinity, and Morpheus enter an elevator. Trinity presses the floor where the Merovingian's restaurant is located, floor 101. Interestingly, Neo's apartment number back when he was Thomas Anderson was also 101. 0 and 1 are binary numbers in computer codes. This is a hint that whatever is on floor 101 is something or someone important in the Matrix. A group of red pills tries to get on the elevator, but Morpheus silently tells them no, it's too dangerous to have civilians in the elevator with them. Any of them could turn into an enemy at any time.
What can you see, Neo?
It's strange. The code is somehow different.
Encrypted?
Maybe.
Is that good for us or bad for us?
Well, it looks like every floor is wired with explosives.
Neo mentioning that the code of the entire building is strange means that the Merovingian has modified or encrypted the code so that the architect cannot change the building. And the explosives are for someone dumb enough to try and attack him. The trio arrived at floor 101.
Yes, we are here to speak with the Merovingian.
Of course. He has been expecting you.
How did the Merovingian know that they were coming? There are several theories as to how, but the most logical one is that the Merovingian had the keymaker, and that without him, the One cannot fulfill his purpose, meaning that the Merovingian knew what he was doing when he imprisoned the keymaker. He knew that the One would eventually come looking for him. The host leads the trio into the restaurant. Neo looks around the place and sees eye to eye with someone leaving. That person was just speaking to the Merovingian. Who is he? We'll find out later. The Merovingian was sitting at the far back of the restaurant at an exclusive table. It gives out a certain kingly vibe. Sitting next to him is his wife. This visually alludes to the fact that both are heads of that place, but it also symbolizes something else. The Merovingian dynasty was the ruling family of the Franks from the middle of the 5th century until 751. They first appeared as kings of the Franks in the Roman army of northern Gaul. By 509, they had united all the Franks and northern Gaulish Romans under their rule. So the position and posture of these characters in that restaurant is a reference to that dynasty.
Aha, here he is at last. Neo, the One himself, right?
The Merovingian says right in a sarcastic tone, as if he knows that Neo is not the One, but the Sixth.
And the legendary Morpheus. And Trinity, of course, si belle qu'elle me fait souffrir.
So beautiful that she makes me suffer. That is what he basically said. His description of Trinity has meaning. She is so beautiful that she causes suffering to those who fall in love with her, which is accurate. Cypher and Ghost were two of her victims that we know about. Trinity also caused much suffering for Neo because of his nightmares of her death.
This is my wife, Persephone. Something to eat? Drink? Of course, such things are contrivances like so much here, for the sake of appearances.
The element of deception is something that is used frequently in this movie. Neo and the others know that everything in the Matrix is a hoax, but the Merovingian was the first to talk about the contrivance of sustenance. Humans in the simulation don't need food or drink because they are being fed in the real world. The simulation programmed them to feel hunger and thirst. In addition, there is another factor in the food or usage for food in the Matrix.
No, thank you.
Yes, of course. Who has time? Who has time?
Neo has precious little time before the Sentinels destroy Zion. He is racing against the clock, and he needs the Keymaker now. However, the Merovingian knows that the so-called Path of the One is a lie, and that Neo is wasting his time.
French is my favorite, fantastic language. Especially to curse with. Nom de Dieu, de putain de bordel de merde de saloperie de connard d'enculé de ta mère. It's like wiping your ass with silk. I love it.
The Merovingian's adoption of the French language is evidence that he has been humanized in some form, talking about the pleasures of the human language. We cannot reveal the English translation of what the Frenchman said, because YouTube would probably demonetize this video in a second. All we can say is that Neo, Trinity, and Morpheus's mothers would probably choke the Merovingian with soap.
You know why we are here.
I am a trafficker of information. I know everything I can. The question is, do you know why you are here?
The Merovingian is slowly trying to prove a point, and that is that neither Morpheus, Neo, or Trinity know what they're doing. The Merovingian has seen the cycle play out several times before. Neo came for the Keymaker only because the Oracle told him to, not knowing why nor how is he going to help him. They are just following orders.
We are looking for the Keymaker.
Oh yes, it is true. The Keymaker, of course. But this is not a reason, this is not a why. The Keymaker himself, his very nature is a means, it is not an end. And so, to look for him is to be looking for a means to do what?
Again, the Merovingian is trying to make them understand that they don't know anything. They are inadvertently working in favor of the Matrix.
You know the answer to that question.
But do you? You think you do, but you do not. You are here because you were sent here. You were told to come here and then you obeyed. It is, of course, the way of all things. You see, there is only one constant. One universal, it is the only real truth. Causality. Action, reaction, cause and effect.
The Frenchman is speaking about predeterminism. No matter what anyone does, they will end up walking down the path imposed by others. Neo searching for the Keymaker is him following a predetermined path laid out by the Oracle.
Everything begins with choice.
No, wrong. Choice is an illusion created between those with power and those without.
Those with power are the Architect and the Oracle. Those without power are the humans. The Merovingian knows this too well. Everything that has happened before is happening again. Choice does not exist in the Matrix, only predeterminism, a planned out route created by the Architect that has worked for hundreds of years, maybe more. Next time, we will see how far the Merovingian goes to prove his point, and how his philosophy could be considered as the correct one in the franchise. For Matrix Explained, Please leave a like and subscribe. And thank you for visiting the Desert of the Real.